I tried to make the thing with
We're on Facebook
my
Live
iPad.
now.
With my iPad, but it doesn't work.
You just don't know what you're doing because I do my iPad all the time.
No, because it doesn't go live in Facebook. Hi, everybody.
Hi, honey. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Good, good.
Hi. Oh, it's raining like hell today. What's going on? Is it rainy
I
season?
know. It was, yeah, me too. I don't know. And you know, when it rains like that, it makes you, all you want to do is just be in the bed.
Ella, I'm only seeing you and Shannon. We're not on
Barney.
there.
I'm seeing everybody.
Well, I'm just telling you, I'm on Facebook Live and I only see the two of you.
Yeah, but that's because it's last what? We're not live yet.
Oh, okay. So we're not live. I thought you said we just went live. All right.
No.
No problem.
Okay, is everybody ready to go live?
Hold on. 1,
I
2.
think so.
Let's go live.
All the way.
We're almost
Audio
live.
check. Ella, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
He's being live streamed now.
Hi,
I pulled it up
everyone.
live on whatever, but I only see the two of you. Let me close it. I don't know.
It's last week.
Go to a different screen.
I'm gonna do that. Close this one out and reopen.
Hi, everybody. We are now live on Facebook. So again, this week again, we are just having some trouble looking back and seeing what's going on. But yep.
We
Still a
are
little bit of a
here,
problem.
honey. We're here for you.
How's everybody doing? Let's try to do this the other way around. How is everybody doing today?
Excellent.
Pretty good.
Excellent.
Pretty and good. Pretty and good.
So any news, any wonderful things going on?
Well,
Yeah,
you
this
know, we have-
this podcast right now.
Hey, I love it. That's right. That's right.
So we've got already quite a lot of people looking at us. So everybody, welcome to Transgurus. We just got live now, and if you've got any questions, please write them. We'll try to answer you all the questions, and that's that's how it works, these live shows. And I hope that we're gonna have everything a beautiful live show again today. Okay. So I see that some regulars are coming again. That's nice.
Hi, Ray.
So Bonnie, or I'm sorry, Ella asked if there was anything new and anything exciting, and I made a comment that this podcast, and I had a revelation last night that as we the part of being alive, whether you know it or not, is that we're continuing to evolve. And it's like a bottle of wine getting better and better and better sitting on the shelf. And same with the human being. If we live our lives in such a way that we invest in ourselves, we engage in daily self-improvement in mind, body, and spirit, we will grow. We will grow, and we will evolve to learn, and have our perspective will continually change. How we look at things will continually change. And then how we engage others will continually change. And then how we view ourselves. And I know I got my boobs a little over 3 years ago. and how I have evolved as a transgender person. It's becoming more and more and more and more. I don't want to say the word exciting, but this whole thing resonates with my core. And every day that I live in this body, I tune in. I tune in better to the frequency of my own soul, and it's liberating. It's liberating, and so that's what's new in my life, Ella.
I totally agree with you. You know, I've been now living as a woman for many, many years. Not as many as Bonnie or Raj, but you know, I live my life. I'm very happy as I am, and every day when I just am in bed and I think about my life. I just say, oh my God, things have changed. I feel so happy about it. And I think that is one of the most important things about being honest with yourself. Is one of the most important things that you can ever have. Raj, you want to add something on that? I know that.
Yeah, well, no, I just was going to say that the word that stands out to me is liberation, liberating. And whenever I go somewhere to speak about my life journey, I always say that, when you can't, when I'll speak for myself, when I couldn't live my authentic truth, like I wasn't able to express who I am, I felt stifled. I felt almost like I was in a prison, and I compare it to, like, I call it the social prison, because you're thinking about what everyone else is thinking about you. And oftentimes that stops someone from living their truth and living authentically. And what I found is, yes, when I took the step to do it, it was hard and I went through hard times, but it was a feeling of liberation, of being free. Because when you see me, you see my authentic self. I'm not putting on a facade to please the world and live to people's standards. So yeah, liberation.
Bonnie, go ahead. Your turn.
Life is what we make it. Life is what we see it. It's our journey. Don't ever give the pen to anybody else. Try to be in control, not just emotionally, but physically, mentally, and work on ourselves. And like Shannon was saying, how she's grown and how she's gone through becoming more of our authentic self. Well, that's kind of what it's about. And we've had some posts that had over 400 comments. And a lot of it is got to do with people wanting to express that they're living their journey. And listen, you only live once. Tomorrow is not promised. With that being said, make the most of every single day. Is every day going to be perfect? My response to that is it's all about perception. So somebody might say, I'm having a crappy day. And I could say, well, what's crappy about it? And when they really think about it, they're perceiving something one way, and their perception is not the perception that the world is seeing. It's just their internal. And you got to be aware of your self-talk. And if you're telling yourself, this isn't right and that isn't right, it's not going to be right. But if you tell yourself, you're beautiful, you love yourself, you're going to be better tomorrow than you were yesterday, and every day, and you just focus on all the good things in life, I don't know that, why not? I mean, if you're gonna go through it, the clock keeps ticking, whether you're mad, you're glad, you're sad, you're happy. So why not choose to enjoy it? Because the clock is gonna keep ticking regardless of how you do it. But we have a lot of people. I see New Zealand, I see other people on there.
Yeah.
Let's give some shouts out to some people.
Yeah, absolutely.
New Zealand.
Okay, I just want a couple of, so we've got people from New Zealand, we've got people from the UK, we've got people from all over the world. Welcome to Transgurus.
Also,
And
I
you
was going to put
know-
out there, being people are listening to this, we're trying to find a replacement for Christian. And I put a post on Facebook for people that they can do it, or you can instant message us. If you're a trans man, we're looking for a trans man that's transitioned. I don't care if you're 22 or you're 26 or you're 35 or you're 40 or 50, I don't care. But what I'm saying is we're looking for a trans man so that we're more of a complete, when people write in, questions can be asked from a different point of view. So I was just wanting to put that out there. So if there's any trans man out there, we're looking for you, honey.
Yeah, Jane is Chris' aunt, and she said that he's no longer has a Facebook page. Okay, we'll try to transmit your best wishes, Jane. We still have some contact with him, absolutely, but he's got a very important life right now. He's gone a little bit.
Oh, there's nothing wrong. Just so everybody understands, it's got to do with he has a new job, and his new job conflicts with what we're doing. So, I mean, he might pop in somewheres down the road, but it's, I think, important for us to have a balanced. Right now, if you ask a question, you might get 4 totally different answers. But we don't have that trans man to share their experiences. You can only hear us girls.
Okay, so then we've got hello ladies from the UK. Hi everybody. We've got people from.
You know, I gotta say to all our international viewers, thank you for staying up late, because I know it's like wee hours of the morning in, like, you know, in some places, so, or very, very late at night. So anyway.
Oh, it's not only late, it's morning. We've got people from New Zealand. It's literally just, they just woke up.
Yeah, I'm thinking about London, England. Yeah.
Everywhere. We've
like
got Australia, we've got Florida, we've got New York, we've got Akron, Ohio. We've got California. We've got the whole of the United States as well. You know, I was
So
just
anywhere that there are humans, there's highly likelihood that there's going to be a transgender person in their midst. You know, so it doesn't surprise me that we have a global audience, because anywhere there's humans, there's more than likely a transgender person. And if we can maybe be a type of a human lighthouse to shine the way for folks to self-discovery. So that's what, I don't care who you are. Life is all about self-discovery. It's just for a trans person that's got a pretty big twist to it. So the journey is just, there's more to it. There's more mountains, there's more cliffs, there's more alligators, there's more swamp, you know, there's more snakes. And I think as trans gurus, our job is to teach folks how to navigate the jungle to get out to the other side. Because we have spoke about this before. The journey to self-discovery for a trans person can be challenging. It can be, but we've all done it. So if we can do it, you can do it. And through our experiences, and you know what we learned the hard way, maybe we can share some of these things with folks that kind of, there's no way around climbing the mountain. There's just no way. No way. Everyone has to climb the mountain, but we can show you some methods on how to climb the mountain without skinning yourself up, banging your knees, and getting bit by the scorpions on the way. So
Yeah,
that's
Lee,
why we're here.
we will touch base with you, Skylar. These are trans men. We will touch base with you. I'm just trying to see if there's any other trans men that are on here.
Yeah. There is someone Holly in UK, which is now 11 o'clock in the evening in UK. So in UK it's pretty late. She's just telling that why is transition different as per country? Here in the UK, it's now 60 months wait. That's a lot of wait, I don't know. I mean,
Wait for what? Hormones?
Hey, Perry.
Yeah, for hormones and treatment. It's in England, they're overlasted. I mean, overloaded with work,
Perry's on here. We've been trying to get him to come on the show. So he's listening to one. Maybe he will decide to join us. And he's let me tell you, he's a handsome man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry if I get carried away there.
That's good. How long did your surgery take, male to female? Okay, John. Okay.
Took about 8 hours, 6 hours, I don't know.
Yeah, surgery, yes. In my surgery took about, I think it was 8.5 hours. But be careful, from male to female, there's more than the surgery. There's taking the hormones. It probably will take about 2.5 years to fully transition. Some people want to transition more, some people want to transition less, and that makes a very big difference. Okay, so I think that the first step, if you are new here, but the first step is always to get a counselor, and the counselor writes you the letters to start the hormone therapy. And but it takes a while until you actually you get, let's say, stamped, or you get to that position that you really want to transform. And then afterwards, it takes courage, it takes risk management. It's not something which is automatic. I would not make a surgery at the start of your transition. That is the last step. It's a hell of a lot of steps before you actually make the surgery. But it's just a continuous work in progress until you are really feel at ease with yourself and at ease what you're going to do. And don't make mistakes, make sure that you are in the right direction and the right steps.
I just want to add, the journey is different for everybody. Some people go from one role to the next role in one day. Some people go on hormones for a year or two before they actually come out. Some people never go on hormones. Some people get surgeries. Some people don't get surgeries. It's something that's based upon every individual as to where their heads are at. There's no right, there's no wrong, there is no box, and people may try to put you in a box or try to make it about being in a box. You're not trans if you don't do this, and a trans person has to do that. Listen, if you can look in the mirror and you can be happy with your results, you're winning. And if you're moving towards what your desires are, then that's where you're going to go towards. And not everybody goes the length that some of us do. And it doesn't mean that if I've had surgery, I'm any better than you, because it isn't that. Listen, I know one girl right now, I'm not, anyway, she's a cross dresser, but she's friggin' beautiful. I mean, you think she's been on hormones for years. She's got the body, she don't have the real boobs, but her face, she's got a bubble butt and she's skinny and she passes unbelievable. What I'm trying to say is whatever works for you. Now, there's a difference between cross-dressers and transgender people, but I'm just brought that up to show you the spectrum. Wherever it works for you is where you should be. Not for me, somebody else.
Carrie just asked, how long should I wait until breast surgery? Carrie, it is very personal. It depends very much on your age. I would start if you are men. Carrie, I do believe that you are M2F. If you are M2F, start taking the hormones. Things are going to grow and they're going to be very, very
Progesterone is the biggest thing in boob development. I'm not trying to say, but mine are all real. I mean, thank God for progesterone. But you know,
mine are real too. It's real silicone.
well, but what I'm just trying to say is it takes a few years to see how big they're actually going to grow. They don't grow in a day. They don't grow in a year. It could take 2-3 years.
Yeah,
so some
exactly.
people might have more growth. Some might have less growth. Anyway.
So take a while. So how long should it take? It's very personal. Usually young people have developed breasts faster than older people. It depends on your age as well. I usually say, or many people say, take 2 years until you make the surgery. But you know, it's very personal. Just don't take 6 months afterwards. Don't make the surgery.
Mine are 40 years.
Because they will grow. They will grow. And, you know, you don't want to do too early. Okay. I don't know, but everything is very personal. I mean, we all have got different ways. Any comments, Jim, Raji?
Well, I know when I was taking mine, I got my hormones black market, and that's something that you want to try to avoid to do. But I did it that way, and I was taking all sorts of doses, but I would say probably a good year, like maybe less than a year, maybe 8 months, and I started to get what I call my little teenage boobies. It's kind of like where your chest busts out, it bursts out, and like the nipple comes out and starts to protrude. So it was so funny. I was working somewhere at that time at a particular company, and I didn't think I needed a bra. I didn't think I was big enough yet for a bra. And I might have told this story some months ago. I can't remember it for sure. But anyway, I went in one day to work, and my supervisor called me in her office, and she shut the door, and she looked at me, and she says, "Bitch, if we have to wear bras, you have to wear a bra too." And I was like, "You think I'm?" She says, "You are big enough. You need a bra." She said, "Tomorrow, before you come to work, I want you to go to the store and get some." She said, "Get the training bras, you know." And so because I was just walking around, you know, with my shirt and you know, my nipples were protruding through, but I still felt like I needed to be bigger before I started wearing bras. Anyway, she was cool about it. But yeah, for me, it was about 8 months before I started to really see like something that I thought was substantial.
I waited
Everyone's
5
different
years.
though. 5 years?
Yeah, because they were firm and they were like perky and they were like, anyway. Yeah, I was just throwing that in that the bra thing is up to the individual and not everybody wears a bra. And to think, I mean, some people wear a bra because it goes along with the authenticity. But what I'm just trying to say is that, you know, I've had mine a long time. If I don't wear a bra, they kind of droop a little bit now. So I have to wear a bra. But if they didn't droop like Ella's, I wouldn't wear a bra. Show them girls off, honey.
Well, I've
Yeah,
got,
see, I don't
we've got
know
here.
if I don't know if you're just taking hormones, how long, because I didn't wait. I, obviously I went on and did some other stuff to get them bigger, but I wonder if I had just stayed continued with the hormones, how big they would have actually really gotten, and you know, how long that would have taken. I can't really speak to that because I started getting the you know, the black market injections. So anyway.
We've got here someone which just told us, first of
And
all,
oh, and let me disclosure on that. If you be careful about that, because some people have died from that. I'm fortunate to still be here. I just wanted to say that.
absolutely. Black market is no good. Black market is really very, very. We've got Romy, which said, I started transition at 59. Now I'm 62. Waiting time for gender surgery in New Zealand is 10 years. Oh, wow. Plus, so paid for mine, and I'm happy. I'm very happy now. Yeah, it's unfortunately, surgery can take a long time. Here in the United States, with some of the best doctors, is about 3 years. If you go to Thailand, if you go to a very good doctor in Thailand, it might take you approximately 1 year or 6 months or 1 year. So that's the waiting.
Morgan is on there too. Hello, Morgan. He's another trans man we're after.
Hi, Morgan. How are you doing? How's Ashley? Then, so we've got some questions here. How old were you when you found out you were transgender? Well, I can tell you my story. I found out when I was 5 years, there was something wrong. I only knew what the word transgender is much later, but I knew that I was a woman at the age of 5. So it was a kind of, so in reality, I found when I was age of 5. Any other comments, group? Bonnie?
Jimmy, why don't
Well,
you
I didn't
share?
know
You
I
haven't
was-
shared
oh, go
much
ahead.
today.
Jimmy?
Oh, me? Okay. Okay, here we go back to that phrase, self-discovery. And when I was a young person, the concept of being transgender wasn't even a vocabulary word. It wasn't even a thought. It wasn't even an option. But I always knew that there was something up. But I just lived my life the best I could, and you know, joined the military and had a wife and kid and all that. That part of my life was beautiful. That part of my life was some of the best times in my life. As a result, I have a daughter, and all those experiences were necessary to set the stage for me to blossom as a butterfly. So see, with the boobs, people are asking, like, you know, when do I get boobs? I know in my case, I had boobs scheduled, and a week before this surgery date, I called the doctor and postponed it because I don't think I was ready. And maybe 5 months later, you know, I was ready, and you know, here I am. So these are feelings you have to. Part of being blossoming as a transgender person is to trust our internal guidance, trust our thoughts, trust our feelings, we have to trust our intuition, we have to trust our self-thoughts, our thoughts, our internal compass. It is mandatory that we trust the direction that our internal compass is pointing us in the direction. That's key. And in my journey, you know, I think Ella and I kind of figured all this out at about the same time with Dr. Clark, my therapist, and everyone, like Bonnie was saying, everyone's journey is different. Everyone's prescription for self-discovery is different, and you got to try things out. And for any human life is somewhat experimental. You got to try things out. You go to the store and buy a dress or a shirt or a top or something. You try on a few and see how they look. You know, so that's how life is. You try on something and see if it resonates with you. You know, I wore fake boobs for maybe 6 months. And I remember the first time I went to my job as an arborist, I had, you talk about a training bra, I had on a training bra with no prosthesis. You know, and then I went on the internet and bought all these from an A cup to a B all the way to a double D. And it took time for me to, because I knew my own self-analysis. I'm like, okay, if I gotta wear fake boobs first just to see. And I love them. I love them. I'm like, holy shit. And so I knew that was right for me. And then I had a whole box of all these fake silicone boobs that you would stuff in your bra. And I actually had girl workout tops that I had a pocket modified by a seamstress that I could pop these things in, and so they wouldn't move around and stuff. And I had it all figured out. I even had them with piercings in the nipple. And so you figure it out. You know, you have ideas, use your imagination, figure things out. You know, with hair and makeup and clothes, and you know, it's all. We're only limited by our imagination and our creativity. And so you go through magazines and look at other people, and you get ideas and on hair and makeup, and you know, it was maybe 3-4 years ago I discovered eyelashes, and that was a whole new discovery. And then a curling iron, you know, I discovered a curling iron, you know, and then you discover different contour makeup to make your cheeks a little bit more pronounced. It just goes on and on and on. And you keep discovering. And so that's the whole process. That's the whole process. And just embrace it. Embrace it.
Yep, absolutely. So we've got some,
I'm sorry.
we've got some comments. Romy said, I'll start transitioning at 59. I am 62, waiting time for, sorry, I already told that. I'm sorry, it's getting a little bit overwhelming. Many people are writing down. Thank you very, very much. So 3 years on HRT from start at the age of 59, and my breasts are a natural C cup. So, you know, some people, they grow very fast, others not so much. Catherine, breast growth is a slow process. We tend to be impatient and expect the girls to grow in a short period. It took me 5 years and 4 months, and it's now a D cup. Wow. Most of the studies I found was done on a 12-month period, and then further predictions. That is giving trans women the wrong impressions. I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. So it depends on your genetics. That's what Morgan said. Absolutely correct. So hello from Kiwi Sis Romy. Hi, Kiwi. Sis Romy. We have many people from New Zealand and actually from Australia.
New Zealand, wow.
I know.
So I just go ahead.
So
in my breast development with hormones, I got maybe to about an A cup, and then I went from an A cup to a D cup in one day. So
yeah, but that was with some magic.
Also, I just want to not exclude trans men. Trans men, when they go on testosterone, it's almost much easier for a trans man than it is for trans women, because the hormones will deepen the voice, the hormones will build muscles, the hormones will grow the beard and hair. Of course, you have to go through the reduction, the removal of the breasts. But what I'm saying is, trans men go through. That's why if Morgan was on here, he could be telling all this, but I have to fill in for him. But anyway.
Only next time. Okay.
Hopefully. But the thing is with trans men, it's more about the hormones, and that will enable the transition a lot more, whereas the trans women have to work on electrolysis, they have to work on many,
Hey,
many things the trans
Morgan,
men don't have to.
Morgan just wrote, I will. And I think he was telling about next week.
Yay!
Yes, sir.
You should
Oh my
send him
God.
the link
Would
real quick and let
love
him
for
join in
Morgan
with
to be
us.
on here.
We've got someone
Yeah, I
from
would love for
Tasmania and in
him.
Australia. Can you imagine?
What did you say?
We've got someone from Tasmania in Australia. That's far
From
away.
where?
Tasmania.
Oh, Tasmania. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Worldwide, my goodness. It's so good to connect with trans people all around the world. I love it. I love
So
it.
I wanted to expand on what Bonnie was saying. So with the voice, you know, as much as my voice, I don't know, shit, I don't know what I can do about it. But you see, for a trans man, when they start taking testosterone, a woman's voice, what makes it higher pitch is that the vocal cords are tighter, like a guitar string. It's tight, so the pitch is higher. So when they take testosterone, one of the effects is the stretching of the vocal cords, what deepens the voice. Now, I can take all the estrogen I want, and it's not going to shrink my vocal cords. So either I was taking voice lessons to try to, you know, consciously raise my voice tone, but I'm like, you know, at my age, I'm just going for it. But there are surgeries that you can have your vocal cords shortened, and it'll raise the pitch of your voice. And I know several trans girls that have had it done with moderate to good success. So that's something maybe I'm thinking about, because I know my voice just doesn't match my. That's the one thing that's kind of, there's a glitch, and there's always going to be glitches in the system. And the idea is to just try to work around the glitches and work with what we got. You know, we're all dealt a hand of cards, and you play the game the best you can with the hand you're dealt.
I just want to
Exactly.
add
I
that you
love that.
can, without surgery, with proper practice. I know my voice has a long ways to go, but surgery might not be for everybody. And if you can't afford it, if you're willing to put the time and work on your voice, you can definitely get your voice in a better range than. I guess what I'm trying to say is, a lot of people think the only way that their voice is ever going to be better is if they have surgery. And what I'm saying is, if you learn how to work your voice can be done. And I've seen a lot of people's voices that are really passable. It's a matter of working at it, just like everything else. But nothing.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead,
Bonnie, you've made tremendous progress with your voice, and I know you've been working on it. So I'm proud of you, and
Thank you.
you're an example for me. So thank you.
That's good to hear.
I just want to say to everyone, you know, it's a process. And don't beat yourself up. Little by little, you know, you work at it. And all of these things that we're talking about, breast and voice and makeup and all, it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. I always say you don't go to bed one gender and wake up the other gender physically. You know, it all starts from within, spiritually, our essence, and then, you know, we bring it out on the physical. But, you know, the physical takes time, and just little by little, you'll get there. You'll get there.
There is a question here, which is a very, very, very deep question. And it is estrogen safe? And that is from Holly. And is estrogen safe? Well, I've been on estrogen for many, many years, and it has been very safe to me. But there are some recommendations about, it's not only estrogen, it's about any kind of drugs which has something to do with hormones. always measure it regularly, see what your level is. Don't go on the black market, go to a real doctor, someone which understands hormones, and get yourself organized with that. We highly recommend that don't ever go and try to do something yourself, because either you don't get the results because everything gets diluted, or it can be dangerous. So, you know, I mean, I did black market drugs and hormones all my life and didn't do anything because they were just not the right thing, you know? And
But
when
you
I
can
started-
get blood clots if you take too much, and there's a lot to it, so it needs to
I
be
mean,
monitored.
I
The
remember
black
in the
market is not
90s,
the answer.
in the 90s, I was buying Diane 35 over the counter black market. You know, I mean, I was lucky. I was very lucky. But many people should be very careful. You should measure your hormones on your blood level. If it's too high, it can be very dangerous. Yes, it's like every medicine in the world. When taken correctly, it's plus. When not taken correctly, is, oh my God, I've got Morgan Mayfair here.
Yeah, I sent him the link.
Morgan, so nice to see you here.
We have
Hello,
somebody to
Morgan.
answer the trans man questions now. Morgan is a superstar in the trans world. Morgan has an organization that he's helped more people and done more for more people than anybody on this panel could ever dream about doing. Morgan is the real deal.
Yes,
Morgan,
he
tell us
helped
about
me.
yourself.
He
Share
helped me to
about your
get my papers
programs.
right. He helped me so many things. I've got such a lot of things to thank for Morgan. He's really, really nice. He's a really nice person.
He's been
He
so
and his
helpful
lovely
to
wife,
me.
Ashley.
And exactly, him and Ashley. And it's been such a pleasure to work with them because I am currently an outreach advocate for Trans Social. But prior to even becoming that, I mean, they helped me get my passport. And, you know, I'm talking about grassroots, hands-on, meeting me at the passport office and, you know, taking me through the process and paying for it. And I mean, just amazing, amazing. And that's the beauty of Trans Social, the grassroots essence about Trans Social. Although, even though, you know, it's become nationwide and even international in some ways. So
Let's turn the floor over to Morgan.
yes, let's do that.
We cannot hear you, Morgan. Yes, your microphone is not on, I think. I think we're
Can't
having
hear
some
you.
technical issues with Morgan. Yeah. That's it.
Hey y'all, I'm gonna be driving here for a few minutes because I gotta be somewhere in about 10 minutes.
Okay.
So
We've got Morgan. We are having some technical issues with you, I'm afraid. Connecting to audio. Yes, it's coming now. It's coming. It's coming. Technical issues with you. Now we can hear you.
Now you can hear.
Connecting to audio. Yes, it's coming now. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Technical issues with you. Now we can hear you. Now you connecting to audio. Yes, it's coming now. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Technical issues with you. Now we can hear you. Now you connecting to audio. Yes, it's coming now. It's coming. It's coming. Okay. Technical issues with you.
Okay. Now I have a terrible echo and I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, Morgan. What we have to do is to get our technical things together, and then next week you are fully with us, okay?
I actually can hear you now. Now it's working.
Oh, you see, everything comes.
You got the floor, Morgan. It's
Yeah.
all yours.
It's so
Okay,
nice
so
to hear your voice.
Thank you. It's nice to see you all. I'm the executive director of Trans Social, and I'm also the chair and co-founder of Trans Pride Fort Lauderdale. I'm a trans man, I started my transition at 56. I am now 62 and a half, or a little closer to 63. I always knew I was trans. I just didn't have the words for it. Transitioning can be difficult and it can be easy. It all depends on your genetics, your access to hormones and care, and surgeries if you want them. And with that access, it depends on where you live, sadly. Of course, you know, folks that have money can travel and they can, you know, speed things up a little more than others. But, you know, it's not a matter of how trans you are. Once you know you're trans, okay? Whether you're on hormones or not, whether you've been able to afford surgeries or not, you're still a trans person. So there's no judgment on someone being more trans than someone else. You know, and as far as development is concerned, it's not just the hormones you're taking, but it's also your genetics that are going to determine how fast things are going to happen. And Bonnie mentioned something really important, progesterone for trans women.
Oh, we lost you.
Extremely important, and it will speed up your transition.
Absolutely.
You know, if you do bioidentical progesterone suppositories for trans women, you don't need to go on spirolactone. It'll do it on its own and it will grow your breasts. But I'm not trying to keep talking, Morgan. I'm so happy you're here.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you just mentioned Spiro, because I'm not a fan of Spiro, okay?
Neither am I.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, and from my experience in working with trans women, you know, and especially younger trans women, all the things that people fear about estrogen are wrong. It's actually the Spiro.
Yeah.
So the less Spiro you take, the better you are.
Yeah.
That's why
I had my osteotomy quite early in age, because I didn't like Spiro at all, and it made me fall asleep. It was terrible. So, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it has a lot of side effects that are not very good.
Don't forget, spironolactone is what do you call it? Is a medicine for high pressure, for blood pressure, and that's where most people take it for, not for to reduce the side effect is reduce the testosterone level.
Look, let's get real. Some trans women don't want to have bottom surgery. They want to keep their penises and they want to be able to use them. And is it okay to be frank here, or do I have to be careful?
Yes, tell it like it is, because that's what we want to give to people that are listening.
Okay.
Don't hold back on anything.
All right. So, you know, the more Spiro a trans woman takes, the more it's going to affect the way her penis actually functions. It's not so much the estrogen, it's the spirolactin. And if you're on spirolactin for a very long time, you're going to lose a lot of function. You know, and people also have to understand that certain tissues are necessary for bottom surgery. If you stunt growth at an early age, you're going to limit yourself as to what types of bottom surgery you can have.
Sure.
Because the tissue is not going to be there. It's not going to be sufficient.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that you need to study on and that you need to do your research so that you know what you want, because nobody has control over your transition but you, or nobody should have control but you.
Yeah.
It's something you should discuss with your doctor. You should be able to say what you want, what you need, what you want to keep, what you don't want to keep. You know, even if you change your mind down the line, okay? But you need to be frank about these things. You know, a lot of doctors that offer HRT don't even ask you these questions. They just make assumptions. They assume that all trans women are going to have bottom surgery. Well, some can't because they can't afford it.
Absolutely.
Some can't because of medical conditions. Okay?
I think the statistics is about, what is it, 15 or 10 or 15% of transgender women do actually have bottom surgery. So it's not wide, it's not everybody.
No, it's expensive. Its access is not that easy. And quite frankly, some of the younger girls don't even want it. And you know what? That's fine too. Okay. You know, a penis and a vagina do not decide, do not define your gender. Okay. A man can have a vagina and a woman can have a penis. Wow.
Yeah.
We love you, Morgan.
Morgan, we love you, and thank you for joining us. I think we are more or less finished for today because this is a little bit time limited. So otherwise,
I want to share one thing real quick. When I went for my SRS surgery years ago, and back then it was different. I met the doctor the day before my surgery, and he said to me, I want you to go home and play with yourself tonight. And my mouth just dropped, and I was like, huh? I mean, I was like blown away. And he says, no, relax. This way I have more to work with tomorrow. I played with it all night long. Anyway,
everybody, hey, thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching Trans Gurus. We'll be next week at the same time. So 6 p.m. Eastern American USA time. I don't know when it is in New Zealand or in the UK. So since we've got people from all over the world, it's really wonderful. And I'm so sorry it takes 10 years for this bottom surgery. It's a long time. Anyway,
give everybody a chance to wrap it up like we always do.
Thank you for
give everybody a chance to wrap it up before we go off like we always do.
Just wait, sister. Anyway, thank you for joining us. We're going to have our last round. So Bonnie, you go ahead.
Well, what I'm going to say is that I'm elated that Morgan is here because there couldn't be a better representation of a trans man than Morgan, who is the real deal. And he's given more of his heart and soul than 99% of us all put together. And thank you. That's my wrap up.
You're welcome.
And I'll just say, Morgan, it's great to see you on here, and you always have a way of bringing the information in a clear, concise, and understandable way. That's what I love. Like when you speak, you just really like come across clearly and understandable to me. I mean, I'm able to comprehend it so well. So I think that's one of your great gifts, and hopefully you'll join us, again, because we need a transgender male representation, So who better than you? And to our audience, I just want to say, take time to treat yourself, make yourself happy, because emotions are so important. And when you have a particular goal or something that you want to fulfill, a dream, it's your emotions that oftentimes helps to get you there and helps to manifest the things that you want. So be good to yourself. Take time out and do something special for yourself. Love, peace, and blessings. Namaste.
Morgan, your turn.
Morgan.
Well, I want to thank you all for the kind reception. You've said some wonderful things about me, and I appreciate them, and I will try to live up to all of them. I do want to say something. As trans people, sometimes we don't take care of ourselves the way we should. We may want to transition, but we don't take care of our health in other ways. And we don't love ourselves enough. Do something kind for yourself. We do for other people, and we seldom do for ourselves. Self-care is important. If you can't love yourself, how are you going to expect other people to love you? And that's somebody else's quote, but I've always loved it.
Thank you, Morgan. Anyway, Morgan brings more than being a trans man. He brings being an extreme knowledge about the transgender community, about everything related to health, papers, everything. It's he knows so many things. He has so much, a lot of knowledge. We can only be enriched and highly enriched by him. Thank you very much.
Handsome too.
And with those final words, I would like to thank again everybody. And we went a little bit over time today, but I think that was a really great idea to do it. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Morgan, I hope you can
Morgan,
handle
you can
being
hang
in
on a
the
couple minutes
middle
if
of
you
a bunch
want.
of
Stay on.
women.
So I've stopped live streaming. It's not live anymore, so we can just be the four of us.
This
And
is
that
the
would-
fun part, Morgan. We